Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Jenny Halpin, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Chief Petty Officer Sean Hill. 2026 marks 125 years of dedicated service by the Australian Army and its predecessors. Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Cyril Burge Cooke and warmly welcome his family who are in attendance today. We're honoured to acknowledge Director of the Office of Australian War Graves and Member of the Council of the Australian War Memorial, Major General Wade Stothart, retired. As always, we welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family, visitors to the memorial, and students on behalf of Geraldton Grammar School, visiting from Geraldton in Western Australia, and the Moore Family Homeschool, visiting from Queensland. Now, if you are able, could I please invite you to stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Students and those who require a seat, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Cyril Burge Cooke. Cyril Cooke was born at Cow Flat, an old copper mining site near Bathurst, New South Wales, on the 30th of May, 1892. His parents were orchardist Oliver Cooke and his wife Victoria. Young Cyril grew up in a house named Sunnyside in the village of Newbridge near Bathurst. He was one of 7 children, though only 4 of his siblings reached adulthood: Ruby, Myra, Milton and Oliver. Cyril attended Newbridge Public School and went on to find employment as a fitter's assistant working for the New South Wales Government Railways at Clyde Yards Railway Repair Siding. Cyril Cooke married Dulcie Maud Eldridge on the 26th of January 1915 in the Sydney suburb of Lidcombe. The following year, on the 28th of March 1916, a daughter, Hazel, was born to the couple. By this time, the First World War was well underway. The Australian Imperial Force had arrived on the Western Front in France and Belgium, having redeployed from the Middle East after the failed Gallipoli campaign. As some 80,000 Australians entered the European theatre to reinforce the British Expeditionary Force, Cyril Cooke enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 14th of June 1916. After joining a training battalion at the beginning initial training, he was assigned to the reinforcements of the 18th Australian Infantry Battalion and allotted to Alpha Company. On the 11th of November 1916, Private Cooke embarked at Sydney on troop ship Swavic and joined his unit on the Western Front on the 20th of May 1917. The men were billeted close to Vinacourt for rest and training after taking part in the Hindenburg Line offensive. That was a series of large-scale offensive operations intended to break the German defensive system. The 18th was involved in the follow-up of German forces during their retreat to the Hindenburg Line. The Australians had been involved in some particularly heavy fighting around Wallencourt late in February. The battalion went on to take part in 3 major battles before the year was out: the Second Battle of Bellecourt in France and the battles of Menin Road and Pau-Capelle in Belgium. In late 1917, Private Cooke began to suffer from medical problems. Initially sent to hospital in Belgium with arthritis in his left ankle, he was admitted to hospital in Etaples. After treatment, he had a stay in a convalescence depot. After taking time to recuperate, he rejoined the 18th Battalion in April 1918 as it prepared to return to the front line near Hangar Wood. In early May, the 18th Battalion was moving up to the front line between Contard and Ville-sur-Ancre. In the morning of the 18th of May, the enemy shelled the lines of the 18th Battalion. It was most likely when Cyril was wounded, struck by a shell in the face and right arm. He was taken to the 61st Casualty Clearing Station at Vinacourt, but his wounds proved mortal. Survived by his wife and 2-year-old daughter, Cyril Cooke was 26 years old. His remains were buried at Vinacourt British Cemetery, where they lie today. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right amongst 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today besides the Pool of Reflection. This is one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Cyril Burge Cooke, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the growing down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of our director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.